Oh my God, I did it again, you guys. I did it again. I need to remember to hit that go live button. I don't know. Like, it's just, I haven't done it for like 8 weeks in a row. And I just started talking to myself. I see people are in the stream, you know, and there's chat happening and I'm saying hi, but nobody's watching because it's just me by myself. So, hey, thanks for, reminding me. I appreciate you guys for telling me that I wasn't live yet. I was on time, but I didn't hit go live on time. So anyways, yet again, we've already poured the monkey shoulder. So that's great. And I had a really cool intro for this one. Like, it came in and the music was playing and everything. It was really cool. I had it all set up. Photo Joseph, you would have been proud of me. But now I get to do it again. So let's do this. Great. All right, guys. Today's stream, I'll talk about the lights in a second, but I'm going to start off with something interesting. And you might have already seen this, but not a lot of people watch a whole lot of my videos, so maybe you haven't seen it. Let's go ahead.
All these green lights, are they coming too soon? Caught between red and the green, and you, I'm stuck in the blue. Ooh. Value how I'm feeling. How do you have so much time? Been searching for a reason for why you'd love a chip design. Aren't you listening to me now? Screamed all my secrets, why don't you leave them? Ooh.
So I had a lot of fun with this one. This was like the first real kind of B-roll sequence that I just randomly got inspired to do at one point. I've been doing reviews for so long of just equipment, and it's just I go right into talking about gear, and not a lot of people care about that, but I have all this equipment and I know how to make videos and stuff. And so I wanted to have, it was like my own personal pursuit of like, I just got inspired one day. I wanted to do something creative. I want to make something beautiful. And so I went through, a bunch of different music and I found something that I liked and I just kind of went with it all night, worked on it and got that sequence out of it. And I didn't even think I was going to actually review that light, the Lupo Smart Panel. Like, it was an extra light that came with the light that I was actually going to review. And I ended up doing that whole sequence on it, and it fit perfect because of how small it was and how I was like trying to have the tripod circle, or the fluid head circle around that light. Anyways, we'll get into talking about that stuff in a minute. Today, we're going to look into what lights I'm using, and it's so bright in here, and that's because I'm using the Godox VL300 behind me. I've only used it twice, and this is the second time I've used it, so I don't have my full thoughts on the light just yet. It's quite bright, and it's very, it feels very durable so far. We'll be reviewing it, over the next couple weeks. And then we've got the Intelitech LC120, like always. It's just, it's mounted above my desk. It's soft, it's there, it's convenient. That's what I like to use. Over here, we've got the monkey shoulder just being lit with the ambient light today from both the LC120 and the VL300. And behind me, I've got, you can probably see a little bit of blue right here, and that is just, as always, the King TV Bolton Andromeda Slim Tube with the weird, silly remote. I use those all the time. I set up a studio to be perfectly lit whenever I wanted to do something, and so sometimes it's just nice to turn the lights on and start recording. Minus, of course, the VL300. Let me show you the difference the VL300 is making in here. I'm just going to turn it off and on real quick. So that's how much light it's providing. And we are at 25% power with that one. So it's a super bright light. Yeah, quite like it. We'll see where that's going. But let's get into some of these comments really quick. Thanks for sticking around and reminding me, by the way, guys, that I did not click go live. Thank you, Photo Joseph, for showing up as well. And yeah, it's definitely the brightest the stream has ever been. And thank you for showing up. Exercise Enlightenment. Yeah, hot chocolate. You don't need to consume any type of whiskey to participate in the stream. That's just something that I like to do. Happy Wednesday. And for today's stream, I've, of course, figured out the whole picture-in-picture situation. So I've been asking a bunch of people how to do it and what's the best way to do it. I just had a really lame HDMI cable and an adapter. So I used an actual USB-C to HDMI adapter, and now everything works the way that I needed it to work to make this stream happen the way that I wanted it to work. So as we go through a couple more of these, B-roll sequences, we call them B-roll sequences because that's what YouTube calls them. They're not B-roll, it's A-roll. That's the story, that's the subject, that's what is being filmed in order to show you guys, It's not B-roll, that's A-roll. But YouTube has labeled them B-roll. So anyways, today we're going over my personal top 5 B-rolls that I've filmed or participated in. And, maybe I can answer some questions for you guys about them if you have any. So we're going to move on past the first Lupo one. How do I do this? I should have planned this out better. Just talk amongst yourselves for just a second. I was less prepared than I wanted to be. Oh no. I can't grab the window out of my... All right. So I have this window set up. Program. Oh boy, what's happening? This is bad. I broke it. There we are. Okay. This is turning into one of those streams. You guys know what I'm talking about. So I need to get this window out, but I can't close it because it's full screen and I've clipped off the top. Here we go. That's what I needed to do. All right. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm going to load up the next one here now. This one was actually one of my more recent. And for this time, I'm just going to load it into picture-in-picture so you guys know what I'm talking about. This was a fun one. I really like this one. I love that right there. So lining up those lights with that monitor right there at the end took so long because I wanted it to look like just a perfect little, like lines going into each one. And then you could see how, like the light got darker and darker and like a little bit more magenta. And then on the other side, it got a little bit more teal as it progressed through the matrix. And that was like when I first got the Rhino Arc 2 slider, and I was really excited to like use it and like make something happen. So I filmed all that pretty quickly, but just kind of lining up the lighting for some of those shots took a long time. Like right here. So this was actually 2 shots right here. So I used, of course, I also had the Nova was also pretty new for me right there too. And I had the Lupo Super Panel over there with the grid on it, the full color 60, and the Nova was over here on the left. and then everything else was just like blackness. And so this was the first shot, and then when the rhino got to the end of the slider, I did this transition, and then I moved it like 2 feet closer to continue in on this like dramatic push in. And I think that this one I was really proud of, and I also think that OC was super proud of it too, because it's every day I go on Instagram or pretty much any social media network, it's on one of their adverts now, and I allowed them to do that. So there we go. So that was a really fun one. If anyone has any questions about that one, feel free to ask away. I'm gonna have a sip. Oh. There we go. Thanks for the compliment. Great looking. I think that you're talking about the shot, or the B-roll sequence, and not particularly me, but I'll take it. Jake Sloan, so nice looking. Thank you guys. I didn't do my hair today. It's just a hat. And Pasmada Kame, Tommy turned into the blue screen of death. I think that was when I was trying to get the screen out of the screen. It was like doing the whole Matrix thing. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. And this one was also, so I started doing these a little bit more often than I previously was, just because it's so much fun to do these things. Let's get this one into the screen. Oh, no, I need to make it full screen somehow. Always prepared, always prepared. Here we go. So you guys, this one's also pretty recent. If you've been subscribed for a while, you may have seen this one. I was also pretty proud and also extremely disappointed with this one for a particular reason. I broke my bulb pretty bad. It's not even screwed in anymore because I dropped it 6 feet onto the floor. It won't screw into my lamp anymore. So that one, obviously I dropped the Aperture B7C, and that was kind of the whole point of trying to emphasize that, because before I could film the intro sequence, I dropped it. So I was filming it. I mean, I popped it back on for a couple more shots, but I mean, the diffusion dome popped off as I was filming the B-roll sequence. Like, it rolled off of that table, and then it dented the bottom of the bulb, and then the diffusion dome popped off of the top of the light. And then, I mean, I got that cool Iron Man looking shot of the circuit board, and I was playing with the Sidus Link app while it went through and did all those colors. And I mean, no one else has a shot like that, because no one else was, dumb enough to drop their Aperture B7C bulb, the pre-release prototype unit, one of the first units that existed. I managed to break it. So anyways, this one actually I was really proud of after the fact, because it's such a cool looking sequence, and it's something that I made in a weekend. It was awesome. So I was really proud of that one. And I had it sitting on top of the Aperture Nova there. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, so for that whole sequence, it was sitting on top of the Aperture Nova, and it was just not that stable of a platform and that's why it rolled off. I had it like 7 feet up in the air with a nice, soft top light above it, and because of that, it was just it was tilted just a little bit, and of course the bulb was round and it just fell off. But anyways, I'm really happy with what came out of it, and that's why it's on this list of B-rolls that I liked. Let's load up the next one unless anyone's got any questions. A little bit jittery. Yeah, jittery. It's probably due to just my computer. I don't know. This is the first time that I've loaded up the computer that I'm streaming with and playing these clips on, as well as everything's done with one computer right now. So it might just be my computer, feeling the weight of the internet causing those jitters. So I apologize if you have any lag in that. Next one I've got here. It's pretty good. Let's load this one up. I mean, I think it's pretty good. It's not like the rest of them, where it's just not like the rest of them. You'll see. Start recording, and it's recording. We got our red blinking dot and autofocus. There we go. Yeah, look at that. So not quite like a huge, exciting, epic B-roll sequence, but it was, just like B-roll that like kind of tells a story of this thing is happening, right? I'm plugging in these pieces, and this goes here, that goes there, and I'm on a GH5, and I touched a screen and it autofocused, right? So it's like telling a story with no words. that was kind of the objective of that one, and I think that one did a lot more well in terms of views. One, because the content topic in GH5 and autofocus is just a hot topic, but also it told a better story. It's really easy to follow what was happening, and it was just very visual, and there was no special anything. It was calm, it was cool. So that's why I really like that one. Let's see. Exercise Enlightenment says, how long does it take you to create a B-roll like these, like those? Thank you, by the way. It really depends. So all of those I did in between 30 minutes and 4 hours of filming, and editing, depends, probably 3 hours of trying to get it to look just right. And, at least an hour of that is picking the right music. But the hardest part is just thinking, how do you turn it into a story? Because what I want to get better at is telling a story, taking viewers on a journey through my videos. People watch videos because they want to be entertained. People watch gear reviews to be entertained, like the red Komodo, right? I will be the least qualified red Komodo owner in the world, but I think that is going to be entertaining. I think that people are going to want to follow along and live vicariously and see, what challenges are there. It's just, I think it's fascinating, and I want to be the person to provide those, journeys for people that are just as curious, but more financially responsible. And my A-cam just died, so you're going to watch me grab some batteries, because I'm going to be responsible here. Let's switch those out for you. Here. You can watch me do it, Maybe not. Ooh, like that. I'm a ninja. Just like that. Batteries changed, put on the charger and everything. I know you like Josh Yo's vids. Are they an inspiration for you or something you try to achieve? As a matter of fact, let's just play video number 5 because you may or may not know that I participated in this one. Let's get this out of here. Gonna load it up. I'll answer your question in just a second. And sorry guys, just gotta make sure I've got the right one. Yeah. Here we go. So that was one of Josh Yo's videos, but where is it? Hang on. You recognize that guy? So I helped Josh Yo on that video. He invited me down to help him film this, awesome B-roll sequence, and I brought some lights, obviously. That was I take zero credit for that. I brought lights and I brought some mist, fog in a can, and helped with the idea a little bit, but it was 100% him, all his creativity. It's inspiring to watch that guy get work done. Seriously, he worked for, I was down there for 2 of the days. He worked on it for like 3 or 4 days. He has just a way of working and visualizing things in his head before, it happens. And he's incredibly creative. And so, yeah, he definitely is an inspiration to, some of the things that I want to achieve, but with my own style. Because there's no copying him. He's already done it. He's already done it the best, right? So I have to do what I want to do my way because I can't beat him at his own game. He's already beat it. But that was one of the most fun and the most work for a 30 40-second clip that I've ever seen anyone do. So that's I was really proud to have been part of that project. I take no credit for it, but I was there. And that's why that one's, my favorite project to have participated in that regard. Anyways, back to comments. A lot of Daniel Schaefer style transitions. Yeah, that was he made fun of him a little bit. Sorry if you hear my dogs barking. They like to do that sometimes. I remember that episode. Josh forgot to put a filter on the lens, and the metal shards from the grinder scratched the lens. Yeah, that's so I pointed out to him that hey, I've done welding before, and I looked up that you need to, good night, Photo Joseph, that you really should put a filter in front of the lens because the sparks are going to chip the glass. They're going to melt the glass in front of the lens as you do that. And he's like, nah, it'll probably be fine. And so he ruined his Laowa f4 15 millimeter macro lens with that shot, but it was an awesome shot. It was a good shot. It was worth it. Maybe it was worth it. I mean, for YouTube, it depends. Was it worth it? That's up to you. Oh, thank you, Exercise Enlightenment, for the $5 super chat. If you have any questions, I'm all ears. This is just a straight up $5 donation. It's super kind. I appreciate you. I'm honored. I didn't even ask for anyone to do that. It was super cool. Yeah, you get a cheers. Here we go. Very nice. Well, those are my top 5 kind of favorite B-roll, even though they're actually A-roll transitions that I've been a part of. Now, we've got some other news we can talk about. We got a few more minutes. So last week we talked about how I ordered the red Komodo, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I also ordered the Sony A7S III. So judge me if you want, but we've got both of those cameras on the way. And we are going to do our comparisons between the red and the Sony. And yeah, cinematographer, thank you. I gotta make that a shirt. Cinematographer. That's hilarious. So we got that one on the way. We have the Sigma 24-70 f2.8 on the way. And we may have a second A7S III on the way, and the Laowa probe lens. More news on that soon. I'll know more probably next week. But I've always wanted to play with the probe lens, and I got it in. Will maybe getting it in the EF mount so I can use it on both the Komodo and the A7S III to compare, which one uses the probe lens better. Because it's manual focus lens, so autofocus is moot, right? It's all about color quality and the raw files, how well they work. So that one's on the way. And we got, some cages and stuff, but really we've still got lights in here. We've got the new Godox lights in here. We've got a couple more of the Godox, the ML60s in here to play with. We have a new Falconized light, the RX18TD, the bicolor flex light. It's supposed to be waterproof up to like 30 meters, which I have no idea how they can prove that, because the cord that it comes with is not 30 meters. So unless the power supply was, more than 10 meters underwater. Speaking with Jake Sloan, and he said that they sell a super duper long power cable. So maybe that's how they tested the 30 meters of water. I don't have 30 meters of water to test that one in, so I'll have to take their word for it. But we have a couple other lights in here that we still need to review. We're still going to talk about lights, but I'm also really excited for the next chapter of actually showing the difference between good lighting and good cameras. And that $10,000, we talked about on the stream that we wanted to do $10,000 lights versus a $10,000 camera. And then, I kid you not, Parker Walbrock, or however his name is, super famous full-time filmmaker guy, just this week posted a video, $10,000 lights versus, expensive camera, something along the lines of exactly what I was talking about. So I'm not saying that he watches all of my videos 100% to completion, but his interns might, and they might give him those ideas. I'm watching you. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you steal my ideas. I'm going to do them better. I promise you. I'll do better. I don't care if you've got 2 million subscribers or whatever. That might make a difference. You might get more views than me, but I'll do it better. We'll see. All right. Well, this is a quick stream. Just wanted to go over some of those sequences, what I was happy with those sequences, and kind of what I was thinking about when I was filming those sequences or working on those sequences. I don't really have a whole lot else to talk about today, unless you guys have any questions. Chat's been pretty dead today. I hope that don't have 2 streams, or something else just going on, or people are worried about politics or something. YouTube. I hope the stream didn't cancel itself when I closed Chrome. Let's see. Let's take a look at that real quick. Your channel. No, we're still good. All right. Oh, here we go. Why do you use... here we go. Thank you. I guess my chat stopped responding or something. Cool. Got some comments in here. Why do you use a shotgun mic instead of something like the Shure SM7B? Well, Jose, I don't have a Shure SM7B. That's why. That's the only reason why. If I had a Shure SM7B, I would totally use it. But instead of spending money on new microphones, I have plenty of microphones. The only time that I would really use the Shure is on these live streams. And I think that my audio quality sounds just fine. It works out okay. I've also got the MKH416, and that's my favorite microphone ever. But I have it attached to my other MixPre 3. First world problems, right? But I think the audio sounds fine, so this is what I use. And it's also kind of out of the way. I kind of push it a little bit further out of the way for when I do like Zoom calls and stuff, and it still sounds really good. But I usually keep the microphone in frame for the streams because, you know, this is a live stream about filmmaking and video production, so I don't think anybody gives a care. Pasmadon Kame, them fighting words. Good luck, Tommy. Thank you, sir. And exercise enlightenment, Lupo full color or aperture Nova 300. Ooh, let's see, Lupo full color. There's 4 different Lupo full colors you could be talking about with that question. It could either be the Lupo Super Panel full color 30 hard, or the 30 soft, or the 60 hard, or the 60 soft. Is it the hard? So Lupo Super Panel 30 hard with lenses, or soft, the one with the soft diffusion soft. Okay, so that was my first light. Let's pull it out for you. Clean, okay? I know what I said, but that's not what I meant. All right. So the Lupo Super Panel full color 30 soft, right? This boy. It depends on what you need. So the Lupo Super Panel full color 30 was my first soft, well, really my first RGB WW full color panel, and this thing is still kicking. It's a beast. I've got the grid on it now. I usually have a grid on it because I like the directional light. The thing that I pick the Lupo Super Panel full color 30 for is if I need a light that is super lightweight. If I try to do this with the Nova, my wrist would probably detach from the socket, right? This guy is about maybe 8 pounds, 8.5 to 9 pounds tops. It's super lightweight. They've got the carbon fiber, you know, techno polymer reinforced plastic stuff, so it's super lightweight. When I first got it, I thought it was like super cheap build quality. Like I didn't know what to expect. But I realize after handling all these other panels now that the build quality is superior to many different brands, and they use the, you know, carbon fibery plastics because they don't weigh anything. The fans, I like how they're super duper quiet, even at full power, full blast with the fans on. These are significantly more quiet than when Aperture's Nova goes full power and gets super loud. And you can get the V-mount plate here that I've got on it now for $90, and then you can power it with a V-mount battery, although the brightness does take a little dip. And the user interface is, I think the user interface, if you're going for swapping between full color or picking different colors, is going to be better on Lupo. Now, Aperture's Nova. Let's slide that guy in here. Got to talk about them with them in frame. So, Aperture's Nova is like the new kid on the block as far as the full color panel market, right? There we go. So aperture, if you need a light that has more intensity, is by not a small margin, by like a significant margin, you need maximum super duper output. Then you're gonna want to start looking at the aperture as your first choice. It's way brighter than like an Aries Sky Panel S30C, which is the only thing the Aries Sky Panel had going for it after all these other lights were released was that it was so bright. Aperture blows that one out of the water. And the Aperture light is full color RGB WW. So is the Lupo Super Panel full color 30 though. So if you need intensity and you have access to wall power, house power, then you're going to want to go with the Aperture Nova because it's just so much brighter. But then you have your own, you know your own limitations, right? What kind of stands do you have? Where are you trying to rig it? Are you trying to put it on the ceiling? Is it going to fall down and crush an entire school bus full of children? Well, you probably don't, want to put it there. I mean, you can safety chain it. You're going to want to, for sure. Pretty much any light that you put over people, you're going to want a safety chain. But if you need intensity and maximum output, Aperture is going to be your go-to if you're comparing it against the full color 30 soft. If you need VMAP power, the full color 30 soft is going to be a more affordable option in that regard, because if you're going to go for the Aperture, Nova, you need to get 2 VMAP batteries and something to convert those 2 VMAP batteries into a 28 volt or 26 volt, or you're going to have to get a 26 volt battery to plug that into your Aperture. And those batteries are not cheap. You're looking at another $500 or $600. And you're going to have to get, just a way you have to make sure you have a way to charge it. So, I have 14 volt VMAP batteries, and those work with all my lights, except for the lights that require the 26 volts. And that's, Aperture is one of those. Now, if you need to mount your light super duper high up, and you need to be able to control it while it's up there, the Lupo does have DMX, but basically, if you're asking me this question, I know that you probably don't have a DMX controller. You're probably going to want to, again, go with the Aperture because they've got Sidus Link, and it integrates with all of their other Sidus Link lights. So it's how much money are you trying to spend? What is your requirements? Where are you going to put this light? What is your weight limit? How much output do you need? They're both soft lights. They're both full color. They have excellent color quality. Aperture's brighter. Lupo's much lighter, and cheaper to power remotely. Those, it depends on what you need, Here we go. Oh, and if you're going to order the Aperture Nova, you're going to be on back order for like a month plus. And if you order the Lupo, you're going to get it probably, as fast as you pay for shipping. So that's going to be a huge deciding factor for you as well. Okay. Back to the comments here. The 60 hard light Lupo. Yeah, man, if you want to cast light super far away, the Lupo hard full color 60 it's a champion. That's a bright light. Very, very good light. Now that's what you get when you pay, when you're paying several thousands of dollars, $3,000 for that light in particular of light. You're paying for it not to weigh a lot, and for the extra special features of your requirements that it is serving, because otherwise you would just probably default to the Aperture Nova. because that's like the de facto standard. Anything more expensive or similarly expensive should serve a different purpose than what Aperture's Nova is solving. That's the only reason you would buy something different. Portable power, lightweight, different color, better color quality, which is hard, by the way. So, I mean, that'd be like if you had a 6-color chip light instead of 5 at that point. I mean, Aperture color quality is amazing. There's so many different requirements. So that's why these lights all cost a lot of money and why they're still able to all make a lot of sales. Here we go. Should order that instead of wait for my back ordered Nova. Ugh, man. The Nova, it's an awesome light. I've got it like permanently mounted on one of my rolling stands just because I love it so much. It's such a solid, like the Sidus Link, so handy, especially if you pair it with some other lights. Can see myself paying money for V mounts in the next 3 years. Dude, V mounts are where it's at. I power my XT3 with a V mount over DTAP to USB-C. I power as many lights as I possibly can with a V mount. I'm powering my monitor, which this guy. This monitor, powering it with V mount, and that V mount is also the same thing, powering the Mars transmitter. And then I use V-mount to power my Mixpre 3 that I've got over there that I use for all my videos. And I'll be using V-mounts to power the red Komodo, which will be here in December, December 4th, because I've also got the 2 battery to V-mount converters on the way. V-mount, it's game changer. Have just one set of batteries for everything instead of a million batteries for all the different things. Also, NP batteries, the Sony NPF batteries, I freaking hate them. They're the worst battery. So anything I can do to get away from using those type of batteries, I do. And in fact, I did. Watch this. This guy is the, of course, the Ninja V. And I've got on there Sony NP to V-mount converter from FX Lion. And that will let me power NP battery slots with V-mount battery. That's because, so with monitors, a lot of the time, the V-mount power, the power input doesn't really matter because they can take between like 7 volts and like 18 volts or something like that. But if you check the voltage and you're using this, then you can power a lot of things with V-mount. Now, there are certain things that you don't want to use a converter like this on because this is not voltage regulated. And you could fry certain electronics. So if you're going to do that, you need to be careful. But yeah, I use V-mounts on everything. And my preferred brand of V-mount is Bebob because they have a light built into all of their micro batteries. Come on, you know me, guys. Like lights, it's got a light built in. It's so you can find stuff in your bag or whatever, but it's still a light, right? Like they tread. The CRI TLCI, it's not that great. It's got a pretty bad green magenta shift, but because I did actually measure it with the Sekonic C800, but that I like because they're square. You can stack them on top of each other. They're very punchy. They're small, and they're the perfect form factor for the red Komodo when it gets here. Anyways. I like V-mounts. So anything that will be run on V-mounts, I vastly prefer over any other type of battery. Now, their gold mount batteries, they have a technically stronger connector, so a lot of people prefer those. But I think that V-mounts are a little bit more ubiquitous as far as availability, just because I don't know, maybe YouTube made them popular or something. That's just what everyone uses in my area anyways. Let's see them Tommy guns. Lift it. Here we go. Yeah, Tommy guns, right? There you go. Komodo. Yes, I did order the Komodo. It'll be here in December, the beginning of December. Unless someone else cancels their order. So we'll see. Also, if you're just tuning in, I also have the Sony a7S III on the way. I did order that too. And we're going to really see how much of a difference lights make instead of the perfect cameras, because those are like the 2 perfect cameras, right? And we're going to see, we're going to get the iPhone, we're going to compare it. I'm going to compare it against my GH5. A couple more comments here. The new LED lights seem to have many advantages over old legacy bulb-based lights. What are their disadvantages, if any, though? They generally cost more. That's it. It's the only disadvantage that I can think of. Oh, except for tungstens, right? So tungsten lights, actual real tungsten bulbs, have superior color quality. They're hot, right? So they say that those lights are hot on an actor's face. That's because they're projecting the full spectrum of light, and your skin is absorbing that light. So it's hotter. It's more energy being absorbed by your skin. It's more energy being cast out, more electricity, more energy, more light. That's why it's higher quality. That's why it's hot. It's because it's the highest quality of artificial light. So they have, if you're trying to render skin tones, tungsten lights just look better, and those are the advantages. Sometimes even with all the modern technology and LEDs, people are just like, we're going to use ARRI 650 tungstens because they're crazy bright and they're crazy high color quality. That's all there is to it. LEDs are still trying to catch up to that type of color quality. So tungstens are generally a little bit cheaper now and higher quality, but everything else about them is a pain in the ass. They're hot, they're heavy, they break. You have to replace them. You can't even touch the bulbs with your skin because the oils on your skin, when the bulb is turned on, it'll get so hot that the bulb will pop and it'll explode. So I would never run a tungsten. Also, they're fire hazards. I stay away from tungstens, but I still know that there's a reason that they are still around. Timer runs on V-mounts. That's right. How long till a fully Tommy charge? How long till a fully Tommy charge? I don't know. Bebop. No, Bebob. B-E-B-O-B. Here, let's do this. Check this out. Those are the guys right there. Bebobs. They're not the cheapest. If you want a really cheap VMAP battery, Intellitek sells Pocket Vs, the micro Pocket Vs. Let me show you those. Let me see. We got these guys, right? Here we go. So that's why I don't like the they're not my favorite. I like them. They're not my favorite because if you try and set them down in a particular way, they fall over because they're rounded, right? So you can't really stand them up. But as far as maximum output per VMAP battery, these are like the smallest and the most output. They'll get like, I think the 150 watt VMAP battery of these, because they sell a 150 watt version. Watt hour version, it'll put out like 16 amps, 15 or 16 amps of continuous output. So they're extremely punchy batteries, and they're super affordable, and they also have the USB out port, but and they're like $250 per VMAP battery. So if you're going to get into VMAP batteries and you want a small battery that has USB out port, get those. What I don't like about it is when you plug in the USB, in order to activate the USB, you have to like double tap it. But as far as the Bebob batteries, as soon as you plug them in, they just work right away. They recognize that a USB device has been plugged in. The Bebob batteries, they also have these twist DTAP ports, which is unique to Bebob. It's their own patent, I guess. But you can plug in a DTAP device in any direction. So the cord can come out either this side or this side. They've also got when you plug in a USB device, it recognizes it right away. They're square, so you can stack them on top of each other. And for vanity, they have a light, which is actually useful. If it's dark, I use them. Bebop also sells a ton of accessories that are unique to them, and they're also being sold by ARRI now. So ARRI actually stocks and sells Bebop's VMAP batteries because they're high quality, they're ARRI quality. So they've worked together, and now ARRI sells them too. So that's if ARRI trusts them, then I trust them. Even though I'm going to be a red am a red owner. I guess I don't know when I become the red owner, if it's in my possession or if I bought it already. Either way. So that's yeah. Bebob batteries, I highly recommend. I also recommend Intellitek's Pocket Vs if you're just getting into V mounts and you don't want to spend, $500 on a battery. Let's see what else we got. You Googled it after at Bebob, and great answer. Thank you. Yeah, that's I think that we are just about done with the stream today. Let's get these batteries out of the frame. We were having monkey shoulder, and the glass is just about empty, so we've got room for about one or two more questions. It's delicious, but I did just have some Highland Park 18-year the other day, and it reminded me how sweet that scotch is. And I think that for the next bottle, we're going to have to go with the Highland Park 18-year. Very nice one. If you guys have any questions, here we go. Wait, Bebob works with the FX line adapter. Yes, of course. Let me show you. So this is the FX line adapter. Just plug in the Bebob. I'll turn this on. There you go. Hope that answered your question. Yes. Focal length. Do you mean on the camera that I'm using right now? That's going to be the Sigma 18 to 35. And we're sitting at just about 30 millimeters. And on the Whiskey Cam, I'm on the Fuji X-T3, and we're just at about 20 millimeters. So those are my current focal lengths. Best portable weatherproof battery powered light. Portable weatherproof battery powered light. That, in my opinion, well, number one, that's going to depend on your requirement for intensity. I would go with the Velvet Evo 1 for my personal pick. I did a video on that January 1st I think is when I released it. Amazing quality light. That light is dust proof, rain proof. I have footage of me just holding it out in the rain for an hour. It's RGB WW, and it's got some of the most beautiful saturated color coming out of any full color light that I think I've ever seen in my entire life. It's beautiful. It has its own proprietary locking mechanism to attach the AC power, to take that off, and then attach the V-mount power slot. The V-mount thing, like the whole thing, it's rainproof, right? And it's also, they have a mobile app. They have an app, it's not Sidus Link, but it's Velvet's Evo app, and you can pick all the colors, and it works really, really well. The color quality is awesome. It's really bright. By far one of my absolute most favorite lights, and it costs $3,250, and then to get a power attachment, each one of those costs another $300, and the Cordura carrying bag is another $350. And so by the time you are all in with the Velvet Evo 1, an operating version, and you're looking at $4,500. So it's expensive. It is, in my opinion, the valid replacement of Aries Sky Panel, in every way possible. Now the Aperture Nova, if you have Sky Panels, sell them and get Aperture Novas. But if you need the Sky Panel and you need it to be weatherproof, then the Velvet Evo 1 that's your option, because it's already taken care of, and it's lightweight, and it has two handles on the side. It's just such a damn good light. You guys, if you haven't seen my video on that, go watch it. You'll see my passion for that light. It's good. No, it's not good. It's great. So that's where that one is. Good question, Jake. Thanks for asking. And you'll check out in the morning tomorrow with coffee. Thanks, off for bed. Thanks for coming in, Jake. Appreciate you. And thank you, Exercise Enlightenment, again for showing up. And stay frosty. It's funny because he lives in Alaska and it's cold up there. I also want to put it on an FPV drone, small, lightweight, and portable battery-powered light. Well, I mean, if you're looking for a small, portable, battery-powered light, Aperture MC or... Well, actually, if you're going with a drone, and you're probably going to want the light to be seen far away, so both Lupo and Nanlite now sell these lights that have little lenses on them like this. And I did a video on this last week with the LEDGO Altitube. These things are super handy because they've also got magnets on them, so you can stick them to stuff. And they get quite bright. Let's put this up to 100%. I mean, you know, it's right here. It's pretty bright, and get it in there. Woo! It's I mean, these are nice lights, and they're super lightweight. I wouldn't say they're weatherproof because they got little holes in there, so water would probably get into them. So maybe you could, you know, stick it in a plastic bag or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any great recommendations for super weatherproof full color lights like that. What light do you need to make me a sandwich? Hey guys, say hi to my wife, Katie Calloway. She's hungry, and it is 11 o'clock at night, and that's usually when I end these streams, and we have a fourth meal together. So, speaking of that, looks like I gotta go take care of some business. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for showing up. And I guess we can end with one more clip here of the first one that I showed you guys, and then I'll turn the stream off. So this was my first real awesome, super excited attempt at a full B-roll sequence, and then we're going to end the stream. Here we go. I got to full screen it too. Here we are. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.
All these green lights, are they coming too soon? Caught between red and the green, and you, I'm stuck in the blue. You value how I'm feeling. How do you have so much time? Been searching for a reason for why you'd love a chip design. Aren't you listening to me now? Screamed all my secrets. What